right now on Fox 35 News at 5.
And a news alert tonight. The mother seen in this video walking away from her van as strangers try to save her children has been charged with attempted first-degree murder tonight. Good evening, everybody. I'm Bob Fryer.
And I'm Kimberly Wiggins. Now, the mother, the South Carolina mother, went right from the hospital to the Volusia County Jail today. Fox 35's Kelly Joyce explains why the sheriff says he has enough to press charges. Hi, Kelly.
Hi there. The sheriff tonight says Ebony Wilkerson not only drove right into the ocean, but he says she locked the doors and shut the windows to the vehicle so the children could not get out. Sheriff Ben Johnson says there was little question as to whether criminal charges should be filed against Ebony Wilkerson.
But the fact of that she did intentionally try to kill the children. Witnesses observed this. We also have the fact of what the children have told us, that their mother was trying to kill them.
Johnson says Wilkerson drove into the ocean in Daytona Beach, telling her children they were going to a safer place. Video taken by a beachgoer shows rescuers and lifeguards running to help get the kids out as they yelled for help. All three kids, ages 3, 9, and 10, were rescued safely as Wilkerson is seen walking away from the minivan. Rescuers say she not only didn't tell them the kids were in the minivan, but they say she actually tried to prevent them from helping the kids. The sheriff says had it not been for quick thinking by the 10-year-old in the van to unlock and roll down the windows, this might have been a different story.
And her son was actually trying to fight her for the steering wheel to bring them back out of the surf again.
Wilkerson's sister told investigators Wilkerson thought she heard demons shortly before driving into the ocean. Wilkerson told police she's an abuse victim, and she told investigators she wasn't trying to drive into the ocean.
Actually, I think she told our investigators that she was trying to drive out of the surf.
Investigators aren't buying it, and with help from the state attorney's office, they've charged Wilkerson with 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder and 3 counts of child abuse. It's a very disappointing thing because you're supposed to protect your children at all costs. You're not supposed to be trying to kill your children.
What is next for those children and what will they do?
Now, Wilkerson will be in court here tomorrow. No word yet from her husband. The Volusia County Sheriff's Office is waiting to hear from him. The children right now are with the Department of Children and Families. Live in Daytona Beach, Kelly Joyce, Fox 35 News.
Let's talk with our power panel on this. Lyle Mason, attorney, and Stephen Kramer, attorney, here to talk about this. Stephen, first up, let's start with you because we're talking about premeditation and whether or not they overreached with attempted first degree, because that means she was thinking about it. Premeditation is the fact that she drove all the way across the beach. Is that enough for premeditation?
You know, I think the question here isn't necessarily whether it's first-degree murder or second-degree murder. The question is whether it should even be attempted murder. You know, really the test here is whether she took steps beyond preparation. And in this case, it's clear there were steps beyond preparation. The question is, were there enough steps towards the actual act of murder that the charge is going to be justified? Probably here, there's enough steps that the charge is actually justified in that way.
Well, she did lock the doors and drive right into the ocean. I mean, she had every opportunity to turn. At some point, you got to think she thought about this.
Absolutely. I agree with Stephen here in that there definitely were multiple steps taken in this. I mean, you went onto the beach, you turned into the water. The children are saying that she was making the statements that they needed to go to sleep. Mm-hmm. The doors were locked. There was definitely steps that this wasn't an accident. It wasn't a last-minute thought. You had to drive onto a beach and drive into the water. I mean, clearly thought action.
I'm glad Lyle brought that up because, Stephen, the doors were locked, but at some point she gets all the way. If the doors had remained locked, they all would have died. But somebody unlocked those doors and they got out. You know what I mean? She was walking away from the car.
Absolutely, and it's very fortunate. And you know, these are all really good questions. The other question that we really need to be asking is, what can we do to prevent this in the future? You know, clearly we have a mental health type of issue here. Her sister actually called 911 and said that she believed that the mother here was having a psychotic episode. You know, the question is, what can we each do? It's great that we've got first responders. Each of us has an obligation also to help avoid these situations and avoid this trauma.
But Lyle, isn't self-preservation a sign of sanity? And if you unlock the doors and you walk away and you're walking away from the ocean, it shows you don't really want to kill yourself, and that says that you're probably sane.
Well, that goes into the insanity defense. Insanity defense is there a defect in the person's mind that is so great that they don't understand the nature of their actions? And if they do understand the nature of their actions, i.e. they tried to get out of the car and they tried to preserve themselves, then that they don't understand that their actions were wrong. So if she was so delusional that she didn't understand what she was doing was wrong, then that's insanity on its face.
Stephen, you mentioned the alleged abuse. Does that play into an insanity defense?
You know, I think the abuse and the accusations of abuse play into her mental health at the time. You know, obviously that's going to play a big role. The question is going to be her capacity to understand her competence, whether she understood the consequences of her actions, whether she was in touch with reality or had a break from reality. These are all going to come into play in front of a judge and a jury.
Is it difficult to prove, Lyle, that somebody's hearing voices? They say, I hear voices.
Well, this is actually a very unique situation because, and this is confirmed with the sheriff's office in a timeline, her sister had actually called the police 2 hours prior to this incident and said on the 911 recorded call, which is available to the public, that says, my sister is talking about demons. My sister is talking to Jesus. I need someone out here to make sure that she's okay. So it's actually been confirmed that she was at least purporting to hear voices.
Okay, gentlemen, we appreciate you coming in and giving us your insight.